The average American is said to produce 50 tons of garbage in a lifetime. New York City has reportedly accumulated as much as 50,000 tons of garbage in just 1 week.
Is it bad to say that I don't really care about this earth much? Not that I don't, but on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe like 5. It's like I care, but I don't do anything for it.
In a city of skyscrapers, it's now piles of garbage that tower over the streets of New York. Residents are outraged. Their glamorous city is beginning to look more like a junkyard. RT's Anastasia Churkina dives headfirst into the Big Apple's rotten reality.
You're standing next to a pile of garbage taller than yourself. How does that make you feel?
It's a pretty impressive pile of garbage.
While the world marks the new year, one thing marking New York are mountains of decaying garbage, striking a huge blow to the city's traditionally glamorous image.
You can't even cross the street with your baby carriage, or older people cannot even walk, and it's a disgrace.
Terribly upset about it.
It's gross. It's ridiculous.
They're not doing a good enough job for all the taxes that we are paying for it.
It may be time to ask, how soon before the big juicy apple turns rotten? Anastasia Churkina, RT, New York.
I care about the earth very much because I'm a gardener, and I've loved gardening since I was a teenager working for a landscaper, and also I'm a tourist. I'm connected to the earth.
On a scale from 1 to 10, I care about this earth around, I think, a 7 or an 8.
A 7, because I do care about it and I feel like it has an impact on our lives and we impact the earth, but it's not really at the forefront of my concerns. I feel like smarter people are working on it and it's really a solvable issue that we'll get to.
I visit the parks every day because I am the gardener for the Town of Trumbull Parks Department in Trumbull, Connecticut.
I mean, I do kind of visit the park, but it's like, what, Central Park?
There's not a lot of nature walks like in Brooklyn, but I mean, I go to Central Park in the city a lot, especially during the summer.
I do love enjoying nature. You know, it's very refreshing because we spend a lot of time cooped up indoors and sometimes we need to get out and get some more fresh air. You know, I feel like it's a good mind reset.
My favorite outdoor activity is gardening.
I like going to the beach, going outdoors in the summer.
This summer I went hiking for the first time, so I think that's my favorite because we got to the top and it was really nice to see everything.
Going for walks to the beach and seeing the sunset out there on the water and, you know, just kind of sitting in the sand, relaxing, thinking.
When I want to enjoy nature, I will take walks along Long Island Sound because I love nautical New England.
If I want to enjoy nature, I go probably, like I said, beach, or if I really am trying to go out there, like Central Park, Bryant Park, something like that.
I'll usually either go to the beach near my house or I'll go up to the Freedom Trail, which is a park near the town over from me.
I go to Central Park in Manhattan.
The environment in our city, our town of Trumbull, does not concern me because I think we take pretty good care of it, our parks, and we have a large valley, 400 acres, which is used by thousands of people a week.
The environment does concern me because New York City is dirty. It's just like there's so much garbage everywhere at all times.
The environment in my city does concern me because there's obviously a lot of pollution, and I live near the BQE, so like the highway, so there's always a lot of garbage around there, and no one seems to like pick it up even when we call.
I grew up from when I was born to when I was 5 years old. I lived in Fairfield, Connecticut. And from 5 years old to present time, 54 years old, I live in Trumbull, Connecticut.
I grew up until I was 4 in Long Island, and then I moved to Brooklyn.
I grew up in Queens, New York.
I grew up in Stratford, Connecticut.
As a child, I didn't find myself worrying about the environment.
As a child, myself and my 3 brothers were constantly outside in the woods, catching frogs, snakes, turtles, you name it.
As a child, I did find myself learning about the environment often. I learned about the different kind of clouds early on, and then in high school I took an earth science class my freshman year.
I didn't grow up like during school talking about like much of it, like in science class we did, but besides that, that's it.
My family and I kind of enjoyed nature in the sense that like we would go to like parks sometimes, but it wasn't anything big.
We would go to the beach and we'd be outside playing all the time. We'd be in the woods and we'd be catching the native animals.
As a child, we went like during summer vacations to like Cape Cod.
We enjoyed nature all the time. We lived in kind of a little suburb, so we would always ride our bikes down to the beach, over to the corner store, to church on Sundays. So yeah, we spent a lot of time outdoors together.
Nature had a big role in my childhood because, like I said before, we were constantly outdoors, never indoors.
The biggest role nature had in my childhood was, I guess, playing like in my backyard or my babysitter's backyard with my sister and my cousins.
Nature played a big role in my childhood because it really just kind of shaped the person that I am today. It gave me like the freedom, and it showed me just how beautiful nature is and the clean air, you know, just be able to go out and run around.
Nature didn't have much of a role in my childhood because I was in the city so much.
Fairfield, Connecticut, our first house, we had a small yard, about 1/5 of an acre or less, but in Trumbull we had 1 acre, which was half woods.
Well, I myself didn't have a backyard because I lived in an apartment building, but I would spend a lot of time in my babysitter's house and she had a backyard, but it was like just like concrete, 1 tree. It was kind of big.
Growing up, I had an acre plot of land in my backyard, so it was plenty of room for wiffle ball games, cookouts, things like that.
In Long Island, we had a big yard with like grass and like a swing set and all that, but then we moved to Brooklyn, we just had just concrete.
As a child, I favored outdoor play because we were constantly outside. We didn't have cell phones years ago, and we had minimal toys, and we were outside on our bicycles, building forts, walking through the woods, etc.
As a child, I favored outdoor play more just because I felt like we could do more, just like play different sports and different things.
As a child, I favored outdoor play more at first because my parents didn't let me use electronics and things like that too much during the day at a young age, so I became accustomed to playing outside, you know, playing tag, shooting hoops, playing soccer, things like that.
As a child, I enjoyed, I guess, indoor more because I had an older sister, so we just like played with our toys inside rather than outside.
As a child, we played outdoors constantly for hours at a time until it was dinner time.
I found myself playing outdoors more because my parents would always tell me, you know, get up, get outside, let's go play, things like that. You know, grab your brother, we're going out to play catch.
Depending on the season, we played a lot outdoors, like in the summer and in the winter when it would snow. But if it was like the elements just were not working in our favor, we were outside.
I definitely played more indoors than outdoors.
My favorite outdoor activity as a kid was probably riding our bicycles. We had many bicycles that we actually used to take used bicycles and build them and make our own bicycles.
My favorite outdoor activity was playing catch with my dad. There's nothing more relaxing and just simple than playing catch in the backyard.
My favorite outdoor activity as a kid was probably just like playing any sort of like sports or anything with my sister.
My favorite outdoor activity was definitely going to the park. My grandma would take me and go on like swing sets and like slides, so that was fun.
Growing up in Queens, the most popular outdoor activity was probably just gathering all your friends and playing like basketball or football or like tag or something like that.
We probably were riding our bicycles, playing sports, playing with big wheels, building forts. My younger brother was a carpenter, so we were always building something. And we also had chickens in a chicken coop.
Growing up in Brooklyn, the most popular activity was the park and after-school activities, which mainly was inside.
Growing up in the suburbs, the most popular outdoor activity would be going outside, seeing who's on the street, riding their bikes, so you would just kind of hop on your bike and go out and join them, go to the corner store, things like that.
I think spending time outdoors has benefited my life in regards to you learn to appreciate the outdoors and how beautiful everything is.
Spending time outside has benefited my life because you get to like explore the world more and see what there is instead of just being like in a shell.
Spending time outside benefited my life because it gave me the ability to enjoy being alone and enjoying nature and just hearing the sounds and kind of taking a minute to relax and reset.
Spending time outside has benefited my life because it gives you more like alone time, or if like you're with someone, you're not thinking about like, social media, because if you go hiking, you don't have service, so you're more like with yourself and like with nature.
As I've grown up, I don't wish. I've definitely spent multiple hours a day outdoors. I work a job which is outside all year round, and then I come home and I work in my gardens afterwards.
Well, I always wish that I spent more time outdoors, because I feel like I spend so many hours of the day cooped up or in a classroom or, just in the house. So I wish that I definitely spent more time outdoors.
I kind of wish I spent more time outdoors growing up, just because you get to appreciate the world more and like meeting people and see different things.
I definitely wish that I grew up more like outdoorsy, especially watching like movies of like a typical high school in like a suburban area. Like I've always wanted that, like football games and just going like hiking on the weekends.
I definitely don't enjoy nature as much now as I did when I was a kid, because I don't honestly play games with my friends like that anymore, but I like to go on walks and ride bikes and do things, enjoy it while I can.
I still enjoy nature. I'm a huge gardener, and our existing home here now, I've probably added 120 plants to the yard, which I take care of, and I also consider active meditation.
I feel like as an adult, I don't enjoy nature as much, just because like when the weather is just not fun, if it's too hot or it's too cold, it just becomes annoying. So I was definitely more into it as a kid.
Looking back, no I don't, because I spend plenty of time outside.
I kind of do wish I spent more time outside, because I feel like I never took opportunity to like be a full-on like kid outside playing.
Looking back, I do wish that I spent more time outside, because even though my parents did make me play outside a fair amount, I still did spend a lot of time just being a couch potato, and I wish that I used that time to kind of enjoy nature more.
Looking back, I definitely wish I did. My parents also had like a big influence on like when I was outside, like where I was, especially like where I lived.
I love being able to plant different plants and then nurture them and see them grow taller than myself.
What makes me passionate about nature is the colors, the different browns and oranges and yellows of autumn, and the evergreen trees, the green of the forest when you're taking a walk.
I guess the only thing that makes me passionate about nature is just having overall concern for our environment. Like the environment isn't doing too well, so we're trying to fix that.
What's like going on in the world right now with like the environment, it's really scary and like dangerous to a lot of us. So I think looking towards the future to like other generations, like we would want them to be enjoying the environment like even better than we have.
I believe spending more time out is good, because you get fresh air, which is very important, and exercise also.
I believe spending more time outdoors does benefit your life, for the reason that like you become more humble and see that the world isn't just small, like it's much bigger and larger and more beautiful than anybody could ever imagine.
Spending time outdoors does benefit my life.
I feel like spending more time outdoors does benefit your life, and it would benefit a lot of people's lives, because a lot of people go their 9 to 5, sit at a desk, go home, go out to dinner, things like that, when nobody really just goes on nature walks anymore or rides a bike, leisurely outdoor activities.
According to the American Lung Association, New York City is ranked as the 11th most polluted city in the U.S. You may not see thick smog like people see in Beijing, but it is there. More than 50% of Americans live in areas where pollutant levels are so high breathing can be harmful to your health.
I am aware of the environmental changes, and everything I learn from everything I see on social media and on the news.
I'd say I'm somewhat aware of the environmental changes, global warming and whatnot.
I definitely am aware of the environmental changes around us.
I am aware of the environmental changes around us. I hear a lot about global warming in the news and read up a lot about it in my own time.
I'm very interested about learning about the environment, which I do a lot of reading on the subject, actually.
I'm not that interested in learning about the environment, but I'd be willing to dabble.
I am interested in learning the environment around me.
I am interested in learning about the environment around me. I feel like it's the ecosystem. We all live in it, so we should know about it and take care of it.
Things I do to help the environment is I plant trees and shrubs which give off carbon dioxide.
To help the environment, I recycle.
Some things I do to help the environment are recycling. I really don't like when people litter. A lot of my cousins litter and I yell at them for that. And I use a lot less of like sprays, like like aerosols and stuff like that, because I know that really harms the environment.
I recycle. I try to use less paper, do things electronically, things like that.
I actually help the environment participating in the beautification of the town of Trumbull on the Beautification Commission, and I also helped at the Nature Center plant a whole bunch of plants with one of my coworkers. Also, to help the environment, I have given money 2 years for the High Line in New York City, which is the elevated railroad tracks no longer used in the Lower West Side in the Chelsea neighborhood, which I think is a spectacular idea and project that came to fruition.
I haven't participated in anything to help the environment.
I have participated in things that help the environment. I plant a lot, and I know in high school and middle school we would go to parks and plant trees or flowers.
What I do to help the environment is I live near a beach, and sometimes I'll go down there on a Sunday morning and help clean up the beach of the garbage and stuff from the weekend before.
I believe enjoying nature in the city is a struggle. There's not many places that you can go out except for some parks, but it's not anything compared to if you were to go upstate or something. So I guess in order to help that is actually do take the trip.
I think it is a struggle because, as they call it, the concrete jungle. But I will say, following on social media, many of the parks in New York, Boston, and the rest of New England, there is a lot of green space, fortunately, where people can enjoy. And the biggest one, obviously, Central Park.
I definitely think trying to enjoy the environment is a struggle in the city because, there's it's just all buildings. I mean, there are parks and they are really pretty, but a lot of it is artificial almost, so you're not getting the real experience.
I feel like enjoying nature in New York City isn't as much of a struggle as people make it out to be. It just requires a little bit of effort to, walk down to one of the parks, walk on the High Line, things like that. There are opportunities to enjoy nature. I feel like people don't take advantage of those.